All right. Second time's a charm. This is Clarence Jr. breaking down the Bulldogs. And we're going to try this again today. We're going to hopefully have an interview with, let me make sure I get the title absolutely correct, the safeties and pass game coordinator, Coach Rod White Jr. All right. So, looks like he's already here. Let me go ahead and try to bring him up. Oh, let's see. All righty. But yeah, definitely got some good questions. It's gonna be a very in-depth interview. It's gonna be very insightful. And we also going to get into this season as well. That's definitely coming up. All right. But a piece of content that I've put out recently, and I've actually had some DMs from some guys saying, "Hey, I'm in this video. I gotta reach out to them as well." Is this a video from 2002? But even more so than that, I found a video from I believe 2000 and I think it was 2005, somewhere around there, 2005, 2006. It was Bowie State versus Tuskegee in the Pioneer Bowl. So if anybody was on that team and remembers playing in the Pioneer Bowl, definitely want to get in contact with you and share some stories and insight from that game and what that was like, for sure. I stumbled across that content probably about, 3-4 days ago. So once again, if anybody was on the team that played Tuskegee in the Pioneer Bowl, actually, I think it was like 2005. I think that was the year, around there. Definitely want to get some insight and some stories about that game, about that experience, about the Pioneer Bowl. We got some stuff coming out about that in the very, very near future. All right. Also, once again, if you know or know of anybody who played baseball at Bowie State, definitely want to get in contact with them and share some of that information and share some of those stories. As a matter of fact, the CIAA announced about 2-3 months ago that baseball was coming back to the CIAA, that the CIAA is going to have a baseball championship coming back. Personally, I don't think that Bowie State is going to bring back baseball. I think before Bowie State brings back baseball, they would push to move lacrosse to the Division II level. It just makes more sense being in Maryland and how popular lacrosse is in Maryland, in New York, in this area, in Jersey. I think it makes more sense to move lacrosse from the club level to the Division II level as opposed to trying to bring back a baseball program. I just don't know how successful or how much interest they would be at Bowie State in baseball. Although I could be wrong. But we'll see. And then, of course, the last thing I was looking for, if you know or know of individuals who were on the 1989 championship team that ultimately got vacated, I definitely want to talk to somebody associated with that and get the full story behind why they decided that certain people were ineligible and if they feel it was fair or just, and get the story of that team and how they wound up making it to the championship and winning the championship even though it was vacated. That's the story we definitely want to get out there, for sure. Because as I do these interviews and I do these shows and I do the research for them, what I realize is a lot of the data, a lot of the information is hard to find, it's hard to come by. Even if you look at, and here we go. All right, we got Coach White in the building.
Yeah. I'm
here
here.
We go.
We got it. I got it together. At first, I was sitting there on the.
How you doing today?
I'm good. At first, I was sitting on the other link, and then I clicked over,
Oh
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
was in, then I was out. So like I said, now we here. Now we
There we go. There we go. But first, you don't succeed.
here. Keep trying. We get it done. We get
All
it
right.
done.
So I'm gonna start off with the playing career. So you went to Mount St. Joe.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Mount St. Joe
Okay.
in Baltimore. Yep.
I went to Randallstown, so it's not too far from us. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
I remember we used to always be fascinated, like, man, they got like horses on campus, and
We ain't
man,
have
they
all
go
that. That was
big over there.
McDonough. That ain't us. That's
Okay,
McDonough.
yeah, yeah, you're right, you're right. And so,
That's
how'd you
McDonough.
wind up going to West Liberty? What some other schools you were thinking about?
So I went to JUCO. At first coming out, I went to Lackawanna, and then after Lackawanna, I transferred to Alfred State, which was another JUCO up in New York. And then it just so happened when I was looking to transfer to eventually go to a 4-year school, West Liberty was number 8 in the country, I think, at the time, and they had reached out to my head coach at JUCO, and it just so happened my dad had sent West Liberty my information, so it just meshed. It just worked out perfectly that they reached out looking for my position, and my dad had seen just was sending my stuff out and just worked perfectly. But it was them. It was really, like I said, that was really one of the only ones I've had small conversations with Delta State because one of my uh, teammates from Lackawanna was at Delta State at that time, so I had small conversations with them. A couple schools in the PSAC, but it was nothing really, nothing major.
Okay, okay. And how soon after you stopped playing did you get into coaching?
That next year, I finished playing in 2013 in the Mountain East Conference. In 2014, I was coaching the DBs at UVA Wise in the same exact conference.
So this is something you were thinking about as you were a senior before you had even finished?
Yeah, I used to be in class drawing up plays.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I used to be in class drawing up plays, and also a few times my DB coach, who was the DC, he would might have to go do something and be like, "Hey, Rod, run the meetings real quick." So it wouldn't be long. It'd be like 5 minutes, if that. But it would be like, "Hey, Rod, go ahead, run the meeting." And also, it's in my family. My dad was a high school coach growing up, and my brother's actually a college coach right now.
Okay, okay. So coaching runs in the family. Okay.
Yeah.
And you were the DB coach at UVA Wise?
Yep, I was a DB coach at UVA Wise for 2 years, and then I went to Towson for a year. Then I went to Bluefield College, not the Bluefield that we played, but the NAIA school Bluefield for 2 years. I want to say I was there for 2 years. Then I came back up this way back to Baltimore for Stevenson for 3, and then came on down here.
And you were a DB coach at all these or just
So when I was at Towson, I was the quality control, like a GA. That spring semester, I was with the D line, and then that fall semester, I was with the linebackers. But other than that, it's been with the DBs.
okay. And how did you wind up getting the job at Bowie State?
So just connections. Me and Coach Jackson, kinda, he went to Emerson St. Joe. They right on
Yeah.
top of the hill. But also, my whole family went to Emerson, so I was aware of Coach Jackson. Even when Coach Tyree Reed was here, me and him were good friends. So it was really just building connections, coming around camp time during the summer, working at different camps at Bowie, and just growing relationships with the guys. So when Coach Sewell had left, Coach Sewell had mentioned to them, "Hey, call Rod." And I think Coach Jackson, when he got promoted to defensive coordinator, that was where his mind was probably thinking anyway. So it was just worked out perfectly. And again, my dad played at Bowie too, so I would always come back to Bowie games. I was always back at Bowie games. I remember 21 when they beat Lenore Ryan, whoever was in the playoff games. After the game, I went to the press box and was banging on the window, happy for Coach Jackson and Coach Reed, who was in the press box. So it was just this is where I belonged.
Okay, yeah, that sounds okay, great, great. Um, so who would you say going into this season, who would you say would is the best kept secret in the secondary? Like nobody's talking about them, nobody don't know about them, or it could be more than one person. But you saying, man, these people they're gonna surprise some people in the CIAA this year. They ready to ball.
Latrell Wimberly, Jayon Venable, those are probably the two to me that stand out. They were returning starters for us at the corner position, And to be honest, I tell them I think we had the last season was the worst version of them because Latrell Wimberly was at Lehigh. He was all conference performer at Lehigh. Came here, had to go through some things, so I don't think he played up to the level of his potential. And then Jayon Venable has been bouncing around between corner and safety his whole college career. But I think now he's playing corner for us. He played all corner for us last year, but he's growing and developing every week from the start of last season to now. Even spring ball got better. Both of them got better. So those are probably the two.
Okay, okay. And is there anybody or more than one person that you think is going to have a breakout year? Like this going to be their first year getting some action, or maybe even starting, and they ready to hit the scene ground running.
Kevin Ford. Kevin Ford. He's a guy who's been in the program for about 3 years. I think now is the time for him to crack the lineup. Maybe not the starting lineup right away, but I think he'll be a guy to get some time for us this year.
Okay, okay, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Um, since you are a coach, what would you say would be a key or the keys to great pass defense?
It's a lot. Good pass, good pass rush, good eyes, good alignment. Your alignment will dictate can help your eyes dictate where your eyes go. So those things, being able to finish, having confidence. Having confidence is also high. I remember back when I was a player, the corner opposite me, he was also my roommate. I knew when he wasn't playing with confidence, and I knew when his confidence was at a high level. Like his game just went. So if you have the confidence. That's a big one. Pass rush is a big one. Having good eyes and good alignment.
Okay, and how would you say you guys are working with guys in terms of their confidence, not only just with the results of last year, but as you've probably seen, a lot of the rankings going into the season, they got us pretty low, and so you look
Just
at last year versus the rankings going into the year. How are you making sure guys stay confident and
just
pumped
getting
up?
better. Just
Yeah.
getting better day by day. That's it. Then well, like I said, we truly not paying attention to the rankings because you got to play on Saturday. But biggest thing is we want to get better. Even if we was ranked number one, the goal would still be get better every day, every drill, every rep. Gotta get better. And I tell the DBs we gotta be the best position group on the field at all times. No matter who on the field with us, got to be the best position group. And then I just get day by day, just get better at the little things. The little things gonna take care of the big things.
Okay. Okay. So that makes sense. You know, the NCAA landscape is a lot different these days than it has been in the past. Like I've seen stuff where guys are transferring like right now. I can remember a time where when you transferred, it was before the season or after, and then if you transferred, you had to sit out a year. But now you pretty much transfer whenever you want. And I'm seeing stuff where guys on their fifth and sixth school, and now it's NIL. So especially some Power Five, you play quarterback. They talking about $1 million deals. So how is it working with players today versus let's say 5 years ago?
To be honest, I really don't see a difference, especially on the Division 2 level. We're not dealing with the NIL stuff. Like we're not dealing with that. The transfer stuff we are dealing with, but it's people been transferring forever. People been transferring now. The ways of going about transferring are different. Like you said, some people can you can transfer in the middle of camp, as you see a couple teams are picking up guys in the middle of camp. But at the end of the day, the guys want to get better. They want to play ball. So the guys who in the room ready to play ball, they gonna play ball. They gonna do the things that you ask them to do. You demand them to do something, they gonna do it. And our room, like I said, I don't care who it is. The standard is the standard. We can check egos and all that stuff at the door. Make sure you do the little things. Listen to the coaches. So to me, I really don't see that big of a difference. I'm also, like I said, fairly young, 35, so I'm still kind of not too far removed. I'm removed far enough, but it's still like I understand what they're going through and all of that. So I said to me, it's not too much of a difference in dealing with the kids.
Okay, okay, that does make sense. Yeah, it's not exactly money flowing around at the D2 level.
Yeah,
But once it's like once you get FCS and things like that, that's when guys
That's
start.
that's a little different, especially on the FBS level. Like some of them players making more money than the coaches.
Yeah, I've been looking on TikTok and guys is in the locker room with watches and chains on them. Like, woo, they get into the money up there.
They get into the money on that level
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay. What would you say would be a successful season for the defense this year?
Number one defense in the country.
Okay, I like that. I like that. I
That's the
like that.
goal. At the end of the day, that's the goal. Is to be the best unit that we can be. We don't want to give up points. We don't want to give up yards. We the number one defense in the country. That's successful. Now, obviously, things go in that, but that's the goal. We tell them every day, like, this is the goal. This is what we're trying to do, trying to accomplish, and that's success to us. That's what we're striving and aiming for.
Okay, okay. So currently you are. Let me read the official title: safeties and passing game coordinator. Um, what would you say would be like your dream job? Like head coach,
So,
D
so
coordinator.
I'm actually got promoted to co-defensive coordinator. So we're in the process
Oh, okay.
of working that through. But dream job, to be honest, head coach of the University of Maryland.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, head coach,
I'm
university. Okay.
I'm from Maryland. That's the dream job. But really, like I said, this is home to me as well. Like I said, my dad went here. Be honest, pretty much my whole family went here. My wife graduated from here. I got aunts, uncles, cousins. So I've grown. My first memory of college football is Bowie State in the mid '90s. So like I said, I'm happy here, and like saying that and being with Coach Jackson. This is legit. When I first got the phone call, hey, we going home. We going to Bowie, but obviously we're looking grand scheme and bigger. Head coach of University of Maryland,
Yeah, I remember we went when I was in high school.
or I would
Oh,
like to be the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens.
okay, there we go. Because I know some guys they don't they prefer college. They don't really want to do professional, but some guys are open to both.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely open to both. Like my thing is, I want to take it as high as I can, as far as I can. At least see what it tastes like. Like Nick Saban, he went back, tasted the league as a head coach, and he went back to college. I know people that have tasted the league, but they prefer college, or tasted the league and want to stay in the league. Like a couple of my friends now that are colleagues that I say real good friends with that are in the league now, they say, yeah, I don't want to go back to college. But I know people that have touched the league say, yeah, I prefer to be in college. So I want to at least get to the league, take it as high as I can, see what it's like.
Okay, and I don't want to skip over this news that we just heard. So if I recall correctly, you said you were promoted to co-defensive coordinator. When did this
Yes,
take
sir.
place?
Yes, sir. So it's been in the works. Like we've discussed it, like I said, over the summer. That was the plan, like I said, with Coach Jackson wanted to do. So like I said, that's what we're doing. Like I said, me and Coach Williams. Yeah, and me and Coach Williams been together for ever since Coach Jackson took over. So like we've kind of did a lot of the things together. Like we worked together. As like you mentioned earlier, as the pass game coordinator, I'll handle a lot of the things as far as the install for the passive coverages of what we're running and stuff like that. But now it's just, like I said, a promotion of a title and giving me a little bit more responsibilities.
Okay, okay. You heard it here first, people, because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times when it comes to these school websites, it takes them a while to update the coach bios. And so who knows when it's gonna be on the actual here we go. Bite down, indeed, indeed. But yeah, these schools it takes them a while to update those coaches' bios. So
Yeah,
it might be the end of the season before they actually change it. But okay.
we might like I said we got media day and next week when we start to take our headshots and all of that stuff. So it
Okay,
might
okay, yeah.
might get adjusted around. To be honest, I'm chasing my little brother. He just got promoted to co DC as well. So um, I'm chasing him over at Merrimack College.
Merrimack, okay, okay. You said your younger brother?
Yeah, 2 years younger than me.
Oh, okay. Where did he go to school?
He went to Mount St. Joe High School, grad. Let's say 2 years after me. He finished his playing career at Kutztown.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Football family for sure.
For sure.
Okay. Okay. I definitely appreciate you coming on. Glad we could finally get the camera together.
Yeah, I
We
don't
got
know what
some
was going
breaking
on.
news.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on my computer yesterday. Now I'm on my, and I didn't have my iPad yesterday, because that's what I'm on now. Is on my iPad. If I'd had it yesterday, I'd have switched it over and we'd have got it done yesterday.
But yeah, definitely after this conversation, I'm looking forward to some wonderful things from that secondary this year, and it's gonna be a good year this year.
Yeah, that's the
A lot
hey,
of
that's
people
the
will be surprised this year.
hey, that's the goal. Get better, get better. Every like I said, we have a long way to go. Let's say we you know what last year was, but the goal is to get better
Yeah,
always.
I mean, a lot of people don't realize even with last year, several of those games that we could have won, just some things didn't go how they could have went. But it wasn't like you was looking at the other schools saying, "Man, they just so much better than us." That really wasn't happening. It was kind of like some self inflicted stuff. So
Yeah,
I think people are gonna be surprised what goes down this year.
yeah. You got to line up and play ball. So yeah,
Yeah, for sure, man. I actually like it like this. No, everybody sleeping on Bowie, nobody expecting nothing, and then boom, gonna shock a lot of people this year.
yeah. I said that's the plan. I said we working hard, getting better day by day. We actually probably about to hit the field in about an hour. I said we gonna get to it again another day to get better.
Okay, and I got one last question.
Hmm.
What's something that the students, the alumni, the fans can do to help support the team and really create that home field advantage?
Show up, show up. The biggest thing I said when the crowd is there, it's electric. The Bowie chants, the 1865s, all of that. Just show up. We only got 4 home games this year.
Yeah, that's
We
the
only
only four.
got 4, and we like I said, we trying to make each one big. Homecoming gonna be homecoming. We know state gonna be what state gonna be. Like that, they're gonna bring a crowd, and I think we're gonna have a large crowd. We just got to get the other two to also match that. I want to say it's Fayetteville and
Winston Salem,
Winston Salem.
and
So
they gonna be traveling deep. All right,
yeah, for sure. So if we
we
can, like
got
I
to
said,
show up.
just match the energy, just show up. We going we're gonna put the good product on the field to make the fans cheer, and then we'll respond off of the fans cheering from there. Like, just show up and support.
Yes, and please, folks, show up on time. People like to show up fashionably late. It be almost halftime, and they strolling in there, and then they don't even want to cheer. It's like I understand it's a fashion show. I see your outfit, okay, but make some noise while you're in there.
Yeah, I think that the fans for the most part, like I said, show up, like I said, on time, and also cheer. Like I said the crowd goes crazy when you get the AAA boys chant. Then 1865, you got the GGs doing what they do. So just show up and support. Just show up and support. Because support go a long way. People don't realize how much support goes inside and outside of the program to help the that student athletes in all sports be successful.
Okay, and shout out to Sabi. You already answered this question. I believe you said Venerable was one, and who was the other one?
Latrell Wimberly.
And Wimberley. There we go. So there we go. Look out for those two.
Yep.
All right, but you already said you got hitting the field in about an hour. I don't want to keep you too long, but I definitely appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, got you. Sounds good. Appreciate it. Say, let me know. We can like I say get back on again. Talk about let's say whatever it is you would let's like to talk about as far as I said the team. Like I said if there's anything like I said going on, or again go back into because I know we kind of adjusted off script because I know yesterday we was talking about my college career, so we can double back to that if need be.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I definitely appreciate you coming on. Glad we finally got it done.
All right, sounds good.
All right, we'll definitely be seeing you this season.
All right,
All
good
right,
seeing.
take care.
Yep.
All right, guys. So there you have it. Our first interview with a coach. Good milestone for the channel. So we've talked to a former player whose team was ultimately inducted into the Hall of Fame. We've talked to the now co-defensive coordinator. So I got to make sure I change that. Like I said, if you know somebody who was on the 1989 team, get them in contact with me. If you know some former baseball players, I want to talk to them. If you know somebody that played in the Pioneer Bowl versus Tuskegee, point them in this direction. We want to get all these stories on record. All right, my interviewing style and all that, well, I'm working on that. We're going to keep growing and growing, going higher and higher. But I appreciate you guys coming through for this video. Peace. State, my school. Bowie State. I know y'all know.